Morning,
Hi, good morning.
buddy. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It
Happy
is Tuesday.
Tuesday. Tuesday
So
when we do this.
we're here again on Social Intercourse. If you guys joined us last week, I'm sorry. I wasn't myself. I apologize.
You're disappearing again.
Did I hear
Yes.
right now?
Because I pop up big and then go small again when you come back. So
Wait, did I disappear right now?
get used to it. Yes, Rachel.
I did? Hey, don't be sad.
Okay, I made that up. Never mind.
I'm still here. No, I don't know. We're figuring that out. Dave and Steven say it's my haircut, but we'll see, because I turned off my security system. It's all off. So if it does keep going out, it is my haircut. The camera just does not like it.
It's the ghosts in your house.
Yeah. Anyways, Randy may or may not join us today. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. She may pop in. If she does, we won't be surprised. And
she can pop in too.
Today, what we're going to talk about is something that Vicky actually suggested, and it is MBTIs. Do you guys know what MBTIs are? Because when she mentioned it, Steven and Dave and everybody else was like, huh? But you might know it as Myers-Briggs. It's the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities test. And Vicky, why did you come up with the idea, first of all?
Well, it's become a huge thing in South Korea. And so when I was there before, that's all anybody talks about. It's the first, like, after your name and your age, they want to know your MBTI when you get introduced to someone. And it's interesting because it was actually started over here in the United States. The Myers-Briggs were American women back around, I think the 1920, somewhere in there.
So it was Catherine Briggs and her daughter. I don't remember her daughter's first name. Someone Myers. And
Myers. Briggs Myers.
So they had based it off of Carl Jung's, I think they worked with him. And
she was a teacher, the mother, and she read his works and she was excited by that. So she wanted to update it for people that were too dumb to understand Jung's writings. She wanted to make it for the common people or whatever that you could use. But so it's very loosely based on psychology. It's not really.
Well, yeah, because
it's not that much.
A lot of psychologists, they actually kind of foo-foo the whole MBTI thing. It's not scientific based, but the psychology scientific based.
Well, it's become kind of like over there at least I think it's kind of made its way over here, hasn't it, Rachel? Have we seen it on the dating apps and stuff a little bit? I have a small part.
It's been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
So I don't use it as much for just an everyday conversation, but I see when I started going on dating apps, even 6 years ago, I think it was 6 years ago.
God, time flies.
I would see people putting their, MBTI letters, ENFJ or IST.
Really?
I would see it, and I was like, oh, this person is Myers-Briggs. It wasn't often, but I would see it, and I was like, this person has taken the test. But it was mostly used in Fortune 500 companies. So
businesses would do it.
As and now this is the statistics from the Myers-Briggs Foundation. They said it's 80% of Fortune 500 companies will use this MBTI test on their employees. Now, there's this whole debate, is it lawful to use this, or is it kind of unlawful? It's more for the corporations and employers to kind of know how to motivate their employees, how to get them to work better, more productive with each other, and to put them in. And it's gonna happen. I don't know what else to tell you. It's gonna happen. Sorry.
Giggles. Fine.
I
It's fine.
apologize to everybody. I keep
So that's okay.
So
but over there it's become kind of like you said, it's when they used to do in South Korea, it used to be all about your blood type, right? It'd be like, oh, are you A's or this kind of personality, and
growing up, I always knew my blood type. Because it was a normal saying in our household, oh, your dad's like that because he's a B type. And I was like, what?
Right.
Why am I not B type? What's a B
exactly.
type? So
so it's moved on to that now. That's like the kids that are growing up today with the Gen Z parents are going to be like, your dad's like that because he's an ENFP and we just can't do anything. And
my parents will still go to the blood type thing. They will still say it's
right because they don't. Right.
Yeah.
But they don't know. Do they know their MBTI?
No.
I think it's probably generational. Exactly. So that's their reference. And then, our reference is going to be MBTI. And like, also, I think kind of the equivalent for us too, for social situations and dating and all that kind of stuff is what's your astrological sign, right? Because we see that all the time on our dating profiles. And you and I have talked about it with the girls too, like, oh my God, he's a Scorpio. And like there's these issues or whatever, So it's kind of like that's on there. So you kind of,
it's
they use it for that as well.
With the MBTI, there's also a big 5 they call a personality test and enneagrams. But something about MBTI people relate to. They do feel like, oh, this is very much like me. And you don't know what Myers-Briggs is. It's 6. They're saying that everyone in the population, in the human world, fits into 6 personality types. And you take this, quick questionnaire test, and it'll help come up with these different letter combinations saying you're one of these 16 personality types. And there's some things where you might be like, oh well, I kind of don't feel like, because the questions too, depending on where you take the test, it kind of has a sliding scale. Do you like actually very much strongly agree with this, or you only? So it's kind of plays around. Now, I used to take MBTI since I was in high school. I would go to Barnes and Nobles with one of my best friends back in the day. And we would go and sit there every week and go through all the numerology, horoscopes, astrology. And we discovered Myers-Briggs. And we did our Myers-Briggs. And thereafter, every year, we would do the Myers-Briggs test. Not knowing that you're not.
Oh, you go every year and do it?
Yeah, we did it every year.
Right.
And I since then, I do it every year. But they say it's really innately who you are. So you don't change. You're changing from year to year. So I thought that, but I was like, I'm still doing it every year. It's just kind of like tradition. So I was always an INFJ. And then somewhere a few years back, I did change. I was quite surprised. I think I was talking to you because that's when it was like 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, whoa, I'm different. It's only one letter change, but that one letter change is a big change. So I am now INFP. So that's
INFP plus, which is what I am. We're the same personality type, which is funny.
Now, what's interesting is you are an INFP/A. I am an INFP/T. So there's assertive and turbulent. So there's A and T. And we're going to go over, let's go over what each letter means.
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do it in the after show?
No, the after show, we're going to go over stuff.
Everybody's?
Right now, okay. So I means introvert, E means extrovert. So there's introvert, extrovert. There's N, which is intuition. That they use for N. There's F, which is feeling.
I'll look at it too.
T is thinking. And yeah, I'm going off my memory. And now I'm just like, oh shoot.
Oh, you are?
Right?
I
T
didn't
is
look it up.
thinking, F is feeling, N is intuition, P is perceiving. I believe it was perceiving.
Prospecting.
Prospecting. Okay.
Yeah.
They're similar, right? Maybe not.
Huh?
I said they're similar
What?
words, maybe not.
Yeah,
And then
judging. Yeah, it's you got everything so far.
J is
Judging, prospecting.
judging. J is
Mm.
judging, and then S is the one that I can never remember. I don't get along with S's. It's all I know. So it's analytical or something.
I'm scrolling back up.
But,
Intuitive.
so
Observant. There are the S's.
oh, is that not analytical?
Mhm.
So
It's observant and intuitive. Mm.
But
So
N is
yeah, so the first, huh?
oh, so you're saying observant slash N is intuitive. So it's one or the other. So it's
Right.
either
Right.
I or E, N or
Mhm.
S,
Mhm.
F or T, or P or J. So that's how the
Yes.
letters work. So you can be an ENTJ, ENFP, INFP, INFJ. So I will say INFJs are the rarest personalities. There's only 2% of the population that are INFJs, and INFJs are mostly women. INFJs are very, 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 very introverted people. They are always misunderstood or feel like they're misunderstood. So those are INFJs. Now,
It's interesting about the INFJ. Can I comment on that real quick? Just because it's we were talking about when the Fortune 500 companies do this. Well, now in Korea, it's become such a big thing now that it's part of the hiring process to the point where they won't hire certain personality types, and they will hire certain personality types, and you can't even fake it because a lot of times they'll make you take the test before you get hired or when you get hired, and you will be fired because of that. So it's not just like going off of how do we train you or how do you learn or that kind of stuff, which supposedly our companies use it for, which is what the company that I worked for used it for, was for training purposes and how do you learn and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But they will, base right. And so there's 3 personality types in South Korea that are the best as far as they're concerned for hiring. And one of them is INFJ, ISTJ, or ESTP, because it makes sense to me when you were saying that too about what that person's like, because it says these are the workaholics. They're commonly referred to as office personalities, the office ghosts, who are bound to their desk and will work until midnight. So of course that's who they're going to hire, right? That's what they want.
So interesting to me, because
isn't it?
As I said, I was an INFJ most of my life, and a lot of my friends around me were INFJs. We hated working in an office. There's like no way we could thrive in an office because there's too many people in an office. And we would rather not be in an office.
Well, it's interesting because now you're an INFP. It says those are the personalities that value work-life balance. They go to work and they're diligent there. However, don't expect them to be happy about it. They are not considered to be well-suited for office life. Right. However, for sports, artistic, and cooking-related jobs, cooking related, they're perfect. So,
yeah. So it's
interesting. You've changed.
I have changed. Yeah. So
the worst ones that they don't want to hire are ENTP, INTP, ENFP are the worst. And you'd think the extroverts would be, huh?
Oh, because they're extroverted?
No, because there's one INTP, but it just depends on the combination of the letters, because some extroverts can be disruptive in an office, right? They're chatty, they're too much or whatever, or it's a different kind of job. But the 4 that they look for, ENTP, INTP, ENFP, and MBTI, are the ones they're considered the most rebellious. They're free and independent thinkers who don't mind sharing what's on their minds. While many cultures might find these to be an asset, Korea does not.
I could see Korea saying that's not an asset in the workplace.
Yeah, no free thinkers here. You do what your boss tells you to do.
They're there to just do the job. So,
Be the office ghost. Exactly.
yeah, that's interesting. Very
But that
interesting.
to me, that's one of the issues that I have with this whole thing. Like I get a kick out of it. I think it does seem to fit my personality. I was into astrology, full disclosure, still into astrology, but I've changed mine a little bit too. I used to be an ENFP, but I think that's because I didn't understand what the test was when I took it the first time. We can get into that too about what that I or E means. So I think I always was an I, but even now I'm what they call an ambivert. So when I took it, I'm like only 2 percentage points away from being an extrovert. So I'm right in the middle. And they call that an ambivert because you're not really on either side of either ends of the spectrum. So that does make sense to me, but it's not obviously an exact, like we said before, when you take the test, they'll show you kind of where you fall on this sort of scale of how much of an introvert you are, how much of a thinker
Well,
you
yeah,
are, how much of a,
it's
judging. So,
self-report. It's by how you think you
right,
are. So,
right. And that could be different from how you're perceived or whatever, or you could change, or it could depend on what the job is. And to not be hired for something that you think you're qualified for, or you're a good fit for, or you want to do just because of this random test that may or may not be accurate for any point in your life. That kind of, maybe that's my personality because I'm a free thinker, but that bothers me.
No, it is, because it should not be used to judge someone's work ethic or how they work, how well, how productive they are. It's for fun. That's what it is. It's for fun. It's like
Yeah, that's the
saying,
scary part.
I'm not hiring you because your astrology sign is a Cancer, or I'm not hiring you because you're a Scorpio. Like, that's crazy.
Right. How many Scorpios do you know that are totally different from each other and totally different how they work, or have this rising sign or that, on the cusp or whatever. Like there's just so many variations of it that to hire and fire, and I don't know.
Right.
I had to take another personality test. Go ahead, Raj.
Yeah, I see you use these all in fun, and I know people who use it to base relationships on, and that's with the dating apps. But it doesn't say that you can't not date somebody who is a personality that doesn't match with yours. It just means like, hey, you talk to each other in a different way, you communicate in a different way. This is to help you understand somebody else in a different way.
Right. Yes. So that when you communicate, you might know, oh, okay, they don't want to be around people right now. Doesn't mean that they hate people in general or something like that. So you know how to deal with that.
It's like, well,
yeah. Can you imagine meeting the loving?
I'm an introvert. Leave me alone.
Can you imagine? You meet some guy that's totally hot, totally. You talk and it just shivers, right? And then you go, oh, but you're an ENFJ or whatever. And it's just like, no, you never do that. I wouldn't do that. You're crazy if you do. Yeah, but I did have to take a personality test. Here's where I do think it's useful. And I forgive me, I don't remember what it was because it was a long time ago, but I took a test because I was applying for a job at TSA. Those of you that know me know that that's ridiculous, but I really needed a job. And I was going to be airport security. And they make you take a really lengthy test about like trying to weed out the psychopaths, right? Pretty much at the beginning. So they ask you a lot of questions. If A happens, what do you do? If B happens, what do you do? If A and B are happening, what do you do? Someone steals something, what's your response? Someone, and that kind of stuff to try and figure out what your personality, psychology, and all that kind of stuff is. Because you want to know that before you hire someone that's going to, be in charge of life or death for people. That I really think, and that test was totally different from this personality test. It's more situational and judging, like your judgment of things. So that, I think that's the one time where you really should take that test first before you get interviewed or hired, because yeah.
Well, it's like the different personality tests. Like I said, there's the big 5. It sounds like it's more simple, but I think that test is like 300 questions. I think I had to do for one job, and I was like, oh, this is too much. I give up. I don't want the job. It was just too many questions.
Never mind.
Which, by the way, I think they say INFPTs give up easily. It's part of like when something's like we're like, no, not that we don't want to do that. It's like, okay, I know this is not for me. Nope, I'm done. Thank you. Bye. So yeah.
Well, plus too, we have ADHD and stuff going on too. So like it kind of it depends. That will influence it too.
But Myers-Briggs, like what, 20 questions, maybe? Not that long.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little more, but yeah.
Like, oh, this is dragging. Because you start to sit there and like analyze, like, oh my gosh, but wait, what am I on this scale? Wait, am I like this? Do I disagree? It's like, go with your gut. Just go with your gut. That's really how you should do.
See, that's my sort of, because I was like, did you choose most things in the middle? Because almost all mine were like agree or disagree. Like the big circles on either end. I was rarely in the like towards the middle. But I feel like people that are kind of like
I have some more in the middle. And then because that's just like my gut feeling, like, wait, let me sit on this. Is that because I'm always just like, like that's just how I am. But yeah, a lot of it was more agree or disagree. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Was it? Okay. Yep. It wasn't so much. Well, sometimes I'm this, sometimes I'm that.
Yeah, I got a call from Ranji. She's like, I'm stuck on the first question. I said, don't worry about it.
Oh, she hasn't even taken it yet?
No, she did. When she
was taking it.
She called me and she's like, I'm stuck on the first question. I was like, don't overanalyze. She's like, but that's what I do.
Yes. It's hell for people that can't make decisions.
Yes. So.
Like if you're not good at making decisions, you'll be stuck for a while.
Yeah. So there's also going back to the personalities. I had found my sister, I know she's an INTJ, and INTJs are the rarest personalities for women. There's only like 1% of women who are INTJs, and she's that, and she's fully an INTJ.
She's an office ghost. She does work a lot of hours.
Well, that's not an office ghost. The INTJs. I don't know what INTJs are, but
they're the office ghosts.
INTJs.
That's the most diligent. Yeah, that's the most diligent worker that they prefer. Yeah.
There's a lot of philosophers. Nikola Tesla was an INTJ. Hillary Clinton is an INTJ. Muhammad.
Wow.
Wait, is it Muhammad Gandhi? I was about to say Muhammad Ali. Gandhi is an INTJ.
Sorry.
Nelson. It's very interesting. And I'm like, sister, you could be a world leader. But, she's not.
Yet. There's time.
And I found this very interesting. So there is a dating app. I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called. Here, let's look it up real quick.
This is how our conversations go. When we're talking at night, I'll be like, oh, what's this? And Rachel will go, let's look it up. And she'll be like, let's look it up right now. Okay.
So Synced.
Wait, what?
So Synced. That's a dating app that is based on the MBTI. So I guess when you get the app, we should get the app just to try it out. We should do that on the show one time. I don't know. I guess they make you take the test and then they match you with people who are supposed to be at the same. I have no idea how it works, but it's
I don't.
And I read that Tinder now. I've never used Tinder, but Tinder now has a section where you go to the settings and you can choose personality type, and then it lists all the different Myers-Briggs.
Bumble does.
Bumble does
Bumble
too.
Does, because I've done that above it. I don't know about Tinder, but Bumble does.
Because when I was on it a long time ago, it was people just wrote it in. It wasn't part of the settings. But now
you can select it now.
So I find it very interesting because it is MBTI. And I didn't know what MBTI was. When I started hearing it in Korean, like my cousin, I'm part of a group chat with my cousin and a few of her friends and my sister. They're all Korean. And they started sending, like, to talk about MBTI. I'm like, what is MBTI? Like, is this like a
Is this yeah?
thing? Like, because they're all parents, so I'm like, is this another like, is this like an SAT
Oh,
new? I'm so glad
mm.
I'm not a student anymore. I found out it's Myers-Briggs. I was like, oh, it's Myers-Briggs. I know Myers-Briggs. So, but yeah,
It's funny.
it's very fascinating to them, and it's new, and
Yeah, it's super exploded over there. All the celebrities and blah blah blah. I don't know about the dating thing. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, now this is where I think I'm more of a T because I'm like thinking about it and going, do I trust a dating app to tell me what personality I'm? This is why I fail at dating apps because I don't trust them that they know what they're talking about. The ones that match you up. That's why I like the swipe ones because I'm like, I like that one or that one. But the
right.
ones. What was the one back in the day, Rach? That was that old man with the glasses, and he would be like, love is based on psychology, and I will match you with the right person. And do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, it was kind of like pre when everyone was on apps. It was more like a dating program that you'd
Like,
sign up for online. And maybe that's it. Is it Match.com? Where
I
they
don't
would
know.
match for you, like you didn't get it, you'd put it, you'd answer their questions and they would put it all in for you, and then they would match you
Oh,
with guys based on,
Steven is writing. He says it's eHarmony.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. Yes, that was it. And I was like, no way. I'm not letting this dude pick out someone for me. No.
I don't know. I mean,
So I think sometimes,
So Ranji and I, we had some great laughs because I think she had we signed up for it just to see what it's all about. And I don't know if
what
it
they
was
would give you.
but it was hilarious. We sat there, we were cracking up because the things that people would say, it was really funny. It was so new to us. And we're like, what is this? Okay, it's not me because I was in a relationship. I did not sign up for eHarmony.
It was her. You were laughing about her.
Yeah, we were laughing. I was laughing with her. So it's hilarious. It was very funny. But yeah, you were matched up. Like, why didn't it match you with the serial killer?
Right. I wouldn't pick this person. Exactly. In a million years. What? Either you don't know me or something else is wrong. Yeah.
But let's continue this whole topic on the after show. But we're going to go into more details about each personality type. We're going to go over all the us and David Bott and Stephen Bott. They'll be joining us on the after show, and we'll go over.
If you want to hear about what everybody is.
Yeah, but we're also going to talk about. I'm going to go through a list of like which MBTI is the most likely to run away from you or talk to you, or how do different MBTIs flirt. And I have you know what? There's a guide to what not to say to MBTI personalities. Like, don't ever say this to this type or this type. So join us in the after show. We're going to be talking more about this, getting more into details, and it'll be a lot of fun. Comment. Tell us your whole MBTI. Go to 16personalities.com, I think is where we took the test. But you could just look up Myers-Briggs.
We're not sponsored. Exactly. We're not sponsored by them, but that's the one we all took it on.
We took that I sent to everybody. But you can go Google Myers-Briggs personality. They're all free. Take the test. Find out what you are. If you already know, put it in the comments, and then we can judge you. Subscribe.
No, but we won't because we're not Jays anymore, right? You are Jay. Well, we won't judge you.
I still judge. Okay. So we'll see you next week on Social Intercourse. But join us for Social Intercoursing for more fun and shenanigans. Bye.